And I'm back with another video. I have missed you guys. It's been like a few days since I've gone live. But yeah, I've been having some epiphanies, and I'm gonna just share it with you guys. If it resonates with you, wonderful. I'm intending that it will. I'm sure it will. Before we get into it, though, I do have coaching links in the description. And I have guided sat scenes and guided revision scenes that I can make custom for you. And all of that info is in the description. So what I'm talking about today is this missing piece from the law of assumption. And let me just explain it from my point of view. Before I get into it, I'm obviously not bashing the law of assumption. I feel like the law of assumption is a wonderful way of manifesting and very powerful way. But I just see that there's this thing that has been missing. And I'm just going to talk about, like I said, from my point of view, okay, for what happened with me. Hi, Thunder. You're starting SATs with an SP. That's awesome. I'm so happy for you. So, all right, you guys. So basically, in the past week, I ran into a problem, right? And this was another problem in relevance to my apartment. I'm not going to go into detail. I'm recording in my car because my signal, you guys that caught my live last time, my signal in there is kind of spotty, and I didn't get the Wi-Fi together yet. So I really want this to be a clear message. I don't want this I don't want any issues with that. So anyway, but for me, so this problem happened, and it really, to be honest, you guys, it kind of sent me into this tailspin, really, because it just felt like for me, for the last year, really, this year, it just felt like I couldn't catch a break. I was manifesting great things, still manifesting great things, but it was at some point the other shoe would drop, or so at some point something would go wrong. And I was kind of perpetually manifesting, right? Give me 1 second, you guys. Let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb because I already know what's about to happen. Okay, I should be back now. So in that, I just felt like, okay, I'm doing something wrong for my life to be going the way that it is, because it wasn't just this circumstance. It was all the circumstances that have just been going on back to back to back to back to back in my life. And the one thing I can say for myself is that my mental, I had literally been affirming all day. I had been listening to, sleep affirmations at night. I had been very I had been directing my mind, basically. It wasn't like I was just, constantly giving attention to negativity or dwelling in negative beliefs. I was really, honestly, truly, you guys, doing the work, right? And although I was seeing results, the results would either come in spurts, not really all that I want, or it would come and something for example, when I moved with my roommate, it was great for a few weeks, and then problems started to happen. So I was just noticing that. And the part that really bothered me was, what am I doing wrong? Because I couldn't understand. I was like, I know myself. I'm with myself. So I know, when people come on, in the comments, they're like, I've been persisting for years, and I've been doing this and I've been doing that. We don't know what they've actually been doing, right? I know myself. I know what I've actually been doing. I know that I literally, you guys, spent from sun up to sundown, saturating my mind in the fulfillment of my desires, right? And I could feel that I had gotten a lot of movement within myself with my beliefs and things, right? But something was still wrong. And this last problem that was the thing that broke the camel's back was what really made me take a step back and really just look at it. I mean, really what happened was I was almost in a full down breakdown, you guys, because I just could not understand what the fuck is happening, right? And I thought about what has really changed, because what came up for me was my energy, my gratitude, my energetic practice of maintaining my energy and maintaining my happiness. I had let that go to the wayside, right? And I was so focused on getting a thing and getting the next thing and getting the next thing and getting the next thing, that my happiness wasn't really a priority for me. And I wasn't full on unhappy, right? I'm just a happy person, right? But I could tell that I had been happier. And so this is in the past couple of years that I noticed this, because I noticed this last year too, but I didn't dive too deep into it because shortly after I noticed it, my SP and I broke up. So I was way focused on that, right? And so, but even the year before he and I broke up was kind of like it was honestly a bad year for me. It was just, things just weren't going right for me once again. And I thought to myself, and I said, what has changed? Like, what changed at that time? Because all of this, I can trace this feeling, me feeling less happy back to this time. I can trace the results in my life changing back to this time. And to me, it seems like, coming across the law of assumption would make me more powerful, would make me get more things that I want. But I realized that once I came across the law of assumption, that was when, like, there was like a few months after I came across the law of assumption where I did feel way better. Like, I did feel way better. And then there was a time, like, after that, it kind of just went like downhill. And again, like I said, you guys, I'm not like bashing the law of assumption. I'm not saying anything negative about the law of assumption. I love the law of assumption, right? But I think that there is a missing piece that is not really talked about and not really focused on at all. And before I say it though, because I'm just going to speak my mind, you guys. I'm speaking from my experience. Like I said, if you resonate with it, then great, and if you don't, then that's fine. But I want you to think about what it is that you want behind all of your desires, right? Behind the SP, behind the body change, behind the bunch of money, behind the career success, behind whatever it is that you want. What is it that you're searching for, seeking for in that? At the core of every single thing that you want, you are wanting to feel better. That's it. It doesn't, because we can go down, okay, I want money because I want to feel secure. Okay, but why do you want to feel secure? Oh, because I don't want to have to stress and, feel bad about bills, and I want to do what I want. Why do you want to do that though? Because you want to feel better. Why do you want to SP? Oh, because I want to feel love. Why do you want to feel love though? Because I want to feel better. Why do you want a body change? Because I want to feel hot. I want to feel sexy. I want to feel attractive. But why? Because that feels better than feeling unattractive and feeling like insecure in yourself, right? Okay. So we're seeing here that all we're doing is looking for happiness beneath in things in the world of form. We're looking for things to form. And I touched on this a bit in my last couple of videos about how we are seeking we're seeking the state from the thing, right? Once again, we're looking to the made to define the maker. We're looking to the SP to define us. We're looking to the circumstance, to the manifestation to define us, to bring us happiness, right? But what I realized for me was a big thing that changed for me was that before I got into the law of assumption, my priority was happiness. That was my priority. My priority was feeling good. Now, I want to pause right here because there's all of this kind of, stigma in the law of assumption. I don't want to be happy. I mean, and that's cool. If you don't want to be happy, this is probably not the channel for you, right? Because I want to be happy and I want you guys to be happy, right? And that's not, to me, that's not even freaking true. Like, you do want to be happy. That's what you want all your stuff to be, is to be happy, right? So noticing that's what I was focused on. Okay, every day when I woke up, it wasn't that I wasn't manifesting things, right? Because I totally was manifesting things, but my main focus though was on how am I feeling? How am I doing? Right? And I know that a lot of people say, and I'm not saying that you have to be happy to manifest. That's not at all what I'm saying. Okay. But what I'm saying is there is an ease and a flow and a harmony that comes from manifesting from a state of being that is high vibrational, that is in tune with yourself, that is coming from, I'm already happy. I'm already feeling good, right? Now, like I said, not everybody can conjure the feeling of feeling good. Not everybody is in a place where they feel good or whatever. And that makes sense, and that I feel like is when, affirming and, all of these other techniques they come in handy, because at sometimes in our life, in this earth journey that we're on, sometimes it is difficult for us to really and grasp happiness. It's difficult for us to catch that state of being happy, right? Because of whatever is going on outside of us, right? So I get that. But all I'm saying is that everything that you want, right? This is why so many times, you guys, you hear people with the SP that focus on it for years. And they finally say, fuck the SP. I'm focused on myself. I'm focused on myself. I'm leaving. And I'm not saying to give up on your SP. You guys, just hear me out. Okay? I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is we don't need to put our happiness, we don't need to put our well-being in the hands of something outside of us. That's what I'm saying. Your happiness, your well-being, your peace should be something that you are choosing every day, that it deserves your attention. Your well-being, you guys, the way, your quality of life, right? Let's talk about that for a second. Yes, you may manifest all these things with the law of assumption, right? But if it's not like, and that's what I found for myself, you guys, was that I was in a perpetual loop of manifesting all the time, all day, every day. I'm just, okay, I have to drench my mind. Okay, I have to make sure my mind is impressed. Okay, I have to do this. I have to do from sun up to sun freaking down, you guys, all day. Okay. I was just drenching my mind and drenching my mind and drenching my mind, but giving no attention to how I'm really feeling. You know what I mean? How am I, like, how happy am I? Not giving any attention to my happiness, not giving any attention to my energetic state of being, right? Where is my energy at though? Right? And, like I said, like, I know, with the law of assumption, people don't like this talk of energy and feeling good and happiness. And look, that's on you. You know what I mean? If it doesn't resonate with you, that's fine. Ooh, I must be clicking buttons. But but yeah, but for me, I don't want to just manifest a bunch of things and still feel empty inside and still feel like I'm seeking, okay, no, it'll be the next million. That's when I'll feel rich. It'll be the marriage and the second baby. That's when I'll feel happy with my SP. I don't want that. I want to be happy perpetually throughout my life instead of constantly searching and seeking for something. All right. So I want you to think about it this way. And this is something I was kind of getting glimpses of this understanding because I talked to you guys a lot about connecting with the God self, right? And manifesting from the God self. And I want you guys to really think, do you think that God would manifest in a way that he's constantly trying, right? And that again was the energy that I was really feeling, is the constant efforting, the constant trying, the constant, let me, do this, so that I can get this thing, so that this thing can hurry up and manifest, so that this thing can hurry up and come into my life, right? So do you think that God in its full power would have to do that, right? Isn't when you're coming from God, isn't it more of just a byproduct of what you're being, right? Which is what I've been talking about in the past couple of videos about your state, and really focusing in on your state and understanding that everything is reflecting your state. Okay. It's your reality is expressing who you are being, who you think you are, who you think the world is, who you think the world is in relevance to you, right? Your world is reflecting that, and it's always going to reflect that, you guys. So yes, you can manifest and manifest and manifest these things, but until your state changes really, right, then you're not going to actually feel fulfilled in that manifestation, in it even coming into form, right? So I thought about this, like, okay, well, how would it really be being a goddess on earth, being really like in my full God state and manifesting from that state on earth, right? It would be natural. Things would just naturally work out for me. My life would just be perfect. I would have perfect timing. I would be at the right place at the right time. Everything would just flow. It would be an ease and a flow to my life. If I feel like if I was using my real God power, right? And manifesting from that state. So I figured that out, right? And so then I started to think about when I was when my focus was my happiness, right? When my focus was, how do I just please myself today? How do I go about my day and just make sure that I'm enjoying myself? How do I, I stay away from things that don't feel good to me. I stay away from people that don't feel good to me. I make my happiness my priority and my responsibility, right? So it's not this person's responsibility to come and show up correctly so that I can feel good. It's not this thing's responsibility to come and manifest so that I can feel good. It's all me, right? Because it's all us anyway, you guys. That's the whole thing, is that we're trying to kind of rearrange the furniture in the world to become something that we want it to be so that we can feel good inside, but that this reality is not. And I won't say it's not about that, because yeah, we're in form and we are using form. We are, transforming form. We are creating form and all of that. But at the end of the day, we're doing it for ourselves. We're doing it for ourselves. Ourself is the focus. It should be the focus. We are the thing. We are the main character, right? Not the SP. Not the things that we're manifesting. We are the one that deserves all of our attention and our love and upliftment, right? And we know that, right? So I noticed how, like, my greatest manifestations, like my SP, you guys, actually is probably my top manifestations of when I first initially manifested him in. And the reason why is because it took me no effort. And when I'm talking about no effort, y'all, I'm talking about I did not do a thing. I did not make a list. I did not intend. I didn't even want a boyfriend right then, because I'd just gotten out of a really toxic relationship, right? So I didn't do anything at all. It just happened. And the reason also why it was the best was not only was it effortless, but it was perfect. It was to a T, every single thing that I could have wanted in a man, plus bunches and bunches and bunches of more, right? And so that, to me, when I thought about that, and I remember getting into the law of assumption and thinking like, wow, I didn't even know about, SP manifesting. Thank God, honestly, because it probably wouldn't have gone as well, but it was really, truly, you guys, it was a reflection of my state of being. And I had a lot of manifestations that happened that time, like in that time, that were perfect. It was exactly what I wanted, exactly what I wanted. And I was not putting not one conscious effort, I wasn't doing absolutely anything to manifest it. It was just expressing from who I was being at that point, from my state of being. Okay. When they talk about your vibration and all of it, they're talking about, it's the same shit, y'all. It's your state of being. It's what your state is. And at that time, I was in a state of ease and flow. So everything in my life was easy and flowing. Everything in my life was easy and flowing. And even when it wasn't, I was easy and flowing. So it eventually would be ease and flow. And so I realized that for me, when I came into the law of assumption, because it's another level of power, right? We're not going to deny that. It's another level of power that's available to you, but I feel like how we're going about it is wrong. And I won't say wrong, like I said, because I think that there's different levels of consciousness that different techniques and different ways of manifesting work for you, right? So I feel like affirming, when you're not, I don't even want to get into all of that, but just different levels of consciousness, different techniques work for you, different techniques are helpful. And even depending on the type of person you are, like I said, I'm a person that it's very easy for me to maintain my mood. It's very easy for me to be happy and feel good. So being happy and feeling good and allowing beautiful things to enter my life might be a great thing for me. For somebody who suffers with depression or suffers with, whatever, then maybe it's better for them to affirm. Hopefully you're affirming to get yourself out of those mental states, right? But regardless to that, like, just realizing that having my focus on happiness made my life effortless. Now, coming into the law of assumption, and like I said, now the thing about the law of attraction and just focusing on your state of being and allowing things in, right, is that it's not, although I was manifesting things to a T, I wasn't purposefully doing it. So I didn't feel as controlled in it, right? And law of assumption gives you a lot more control in your reality. And so since we have a lot more control, since we have a lot more power, we want to exercise that. Obviously, we want to put that to use. So we go about, breaking limits and expanding limits and, manifesting things that are, seem impossible and all these things, excuse me, which is a great thing to do. You know what I mean? It's a great thing to do. But I know for me personally, I can't speak for anybody else, but for me personally, I got caught up into that. I got caught up into, okay, manifest this thing. Okay, well, manifest this thing now. Okay, well, now this thing and this thing and this thing and this, and it just wasn't stopping. And at the same time, because my focus was completely outward, right? And even though it's funny, because even the law of assumption is your focus is still supposed to be inward, right? It still is inward. It has to be. But it's like my focus is inward so I can get an outward thing, right? And I talk about that too, where that 3D validation throws you off, because if you're focused, if you're putting yourself in a state, right? Let's say you're putting yourself in a state of being loved and feeling confident, feeling secure to get an SP, right? Then you get the SP, or the SP starts to come back. But now, because you only did it because you wanted them back, now they're back. Well, what's the point of doing that anymore? Right? Now you go back to what you were doing. Now it's back to them being your validation. Now when they show up with an attitude, or they show up in a bad mood, oh no, I must have done something wrong. Something must be wrong with me. Oh my God, I need to do more affirming, all of these things, right? Because your state of being is still, even though you're affecting your state of being, you're affecting your state of being to affect your reality, not to just for the simple fact of affecting your state of being. So when your happiness becomes your priority, you guys, when your happiness becomes your priority, things that feel good to you, like all of your desires, are naturally occurring. They just happen for you. And it happens in a way that, obviously, like even Neville says, that is above your understanding, is above what you can even believe. All right. And I want to put this last point here, and I'm gonna stop going on and on. But I want you guys to think about power versus force. Okay. I want you to think about, there's a man, he's a bodybuilder, right? And he lifts weights all day. And he's so strong. He can lift like thousands of tons. He's super strong. But he's battling against a wizard. Okay? So it doesn't matter how strong he is. The wizard can flick his wand and toss him in the air, right? So understand what I'm saying, you guys. It's not that again, like I said, I'm not bashing the law of assumption. I still think that the law of assumption is great. I feel like these two ideas should come together. You know what I mean? But I'm not even going to go into all of the things that I feel like are helpful from the law of assumption, because it's a bunch. But I'm just saying, you guys, when you're focused on your state of being, when you are vibrating like love, you are vibrating closer to God, period. If God is love, and that is what you're choosing every day, God is love, God is joy, God is happiness, God is peace, God is all of these things, that is what your true essence is. The more that you choose to feel and vibrate that way, the more that you automatically are connected to that wizard power that can flick its wand and bring whatever it is to you. Right? And then your assumptions are that much more powerful. You don't feel like you have to force your assumptions in, right? And I'm not telling you guys, like, if you guys have made it this far, look, I'm not telling you to do anything different. If what you're doing, because we can obviously see that affirming constantly works for a lot of people, right? And people get great results from that. So if you're a person that works for and it works perfectly for you, do that. But if you're a person who has been doing that and it's not really giving you the result that you want, or maybe you're getting the results, but you're still not feeling fulfilled in your life, you're not feeling happy in your life, maybe it's time to give some attention to that. Maybe it's time to give some attention to being fulfilled, to being happy, right? And just seeing, and I can tell you guys, just in the past, like literally 2 days of me doing this, I have seen such a turnaround in my life, in my state of being. I went from a completely low, hopeless state, you guys, into a so much higher, better, amazing state. I feel more excited about life again, because it's not about waking up and looking like, okay, did any of my manifestations come in yet? Oh, okay, more affirming. It's more like I wake up and I'm like, what can I appreciate? What can I appreciate? I have so much around me to appreciate. How can I find joy today? How can I smile today? How can I make myself happy today? That's my focus. And that's such a great, easy, wonderful thing to focus on. And it makes me feel excited to wake up because I know, oh, today my priority is my happiness. And I'm also at the same time, simultaneously, when my desires do come up, it's not that I say, oh, I'm happy so I can think bullshit and my desires are going to come. No, you know, when my desires come up, I remind myself that's done already. And I feel like being in a state of happiness or peace or contentment or whatever, even if that's neutrality, that is closer to the state of the wish fulfilled than frantically grasping all day, every day for something. Okay. So I will leave that there. And I intend that this helps you. I know actually that this video is going to get to the person and the people that need to hear it, that are ready to hear it, and that are ready to move beyond looking for fulfillment outside of themselves and ready to find it within themselves, because that's where you can't lose it, you guys. That's where you won't lose it. Okay. I love you guys, intending that this helped you, and I'll see